After Helena Ryan did a speech for Project 9, Persuade with Power, Joan mentioned to Helena that she didn't know what to do for this speech since she didn't want to persuade anyone of anything. Helena encouraged Joan to make that the topic of her speech. Thanks, Helena, for the advice. While she is doing Project 9, Persuade with Power, this is actually Joan's 10th speech in the Competent Communicator Manual.
Dance club, here I come.
Calm down. Therefore, Joan has now completed the requirements to receive her Competent Communicator Award. Please welcome our next speaker, Joan Caston, for her speech entitled Persuasion, maybe not, and I'm sure it won't be monotonous. Thank you.
It was a chilly October morning. Hard for you in Florida to understand what chilly really means. This is in New Jersey, and I entered the Windsor Grove coffee shop. I was immediately welcomed by the warmth of the room as well as the aroma of freshly roasted coffee. I was there to meet Paul. After we got our beverages, it was my favorite specialty green tea, and he got some kind of specialty multi-name coffee thingy. We exchanged pleasantries and we got down to the purpose of the meeting. That morning, he wanted information and to learn more about the Take Shape for Life weight loss program, of which I was a new health coach for the program. I was prepared. I had written out my script, I practiced it over the phone with my coach, and I was ready to do this and have Paul sign up as a client. So I went through my speech. I told him about how I'd gotten involved in the program. I told him the components of the program. I listened to him as to what it was he wanted and his weight loss needs. And then I finished up with a flourish, the call to action. Paul, are you ready to get started on the program? Right. He says, well, no. Major deflation here. So despite my efforts to address his objections and his hesitancy, he did not sign up as a client that day. I just left there feeling like a failure. I had not done my job, my role as a health coach. I had not persuaded him to sign up as a client. There were more meetings that went along the same lines over the next couple of months, and people were not signing up as clients, and I thought what I needed to learn was what the objections were and how to counter and overcome them. That if I could just learn to persuade effectively, I could be successful at this. Now, this was a new career for me. As some of you know, I've also worked as a bookkeeper, and I have other work where I do data analysis and project evaluation and grant proposals for nonprofits. Well, a couple of months after that, I attended a special training with some very experienced health coaches, and this was for several of us new health coaches. One of the things that we learned there was that what we were supposed to be doing at these presentation meetings was to merely present the opportunity, to just tell people that this was something that was available to them, that that they could have optimal health and weight loss if they chose it. In other words, I wasn't supposed to be persuading or convincing anybody. Have you ever had a situation where you found out that you had been doing it wrong? How'd you feel? Denise, pretty crappy. Well, I had mixed emotions over that. First of all, I was super angry that I had spent all these months feeling like a total failure, that other people were signing up clients after client after client, and I wasn't. But on the other hand, after several days when I calmed down, I realized that this actually took the pressure off me. I didn't have to persuade or convince anyone of anything. Okay, I just had to know the program and be enthusiastic and present it. In other words, when or whether somebody decides to sign up with the Take Shape for Life program really has nothing to do with me as their coach or as their potential coach. They may not be ready to take this big leap in their life. Maybe it's something where they want to choose some other program, and believe me, that sort of pisses me off. Or maybe, you get it, you know, it's like, why did you choose me, damn it? So I still sometimes get frustrated when people say no, even though in my head, it's really not about me. And I still sometimes have those thoughts that if I had only done it differently, if I'd only been more persuasive, more convincing, more inspiring, I could have had another client. Well, what I've had to learn to do is let go of the outcome. Have you ever had to let go of the outcome? It's pretty hard. You know, you take actions, you put in the effort, and you expect a certain result. I need to always remember that the reason that I'm doing this is not for any one particular person, but overall to help other people get healthy. And not everybody is going to choose to do that. It's a big decision. Now, letting go of the outcome is uncomfortable and a very different way of functioning for me. I mean, those of you that know me, particularly on the executive committee, I'm pretty goal-oriented, you know, action in my head, Excel, you know, using Excel spreadsheets, all of that stuff. You have the deadline, you have the action items, you do it, and you do it on time. Now, this works very well for my work when I'm doing data analysis projects and when I'm writing reports or proposals, because there I'm just dealing with data, with information. But being a health coach, that's a whole different thing, because I'm dealing with people. You know, people are kind of quirky. Quirky people. Bree doesn't know any quirky people. And they also have their own motivation. Well, now that I don't want to or need to persuade anybody of anything, I really found it ironic that the purpose of this speech is to persuade with power. And thank you, Helena. And it's why I left it for the last one, because I didn't really know what I was going to do with this one. But the thing is, when you think about persuade with power, if I'm not focused on persuading or convincing, then where's the power in that? And where I think it is that the power resides within each individual person. And it's really intrinsic, internal motivation, which of course Scott could tell us much, much more about, being the professional HR person that he is. And it's less to do with what I do. What about for you? When you talk to somebody, what's the focus of your conversation? Are you focused on listening to the other person? Are you focused on accepting them where they are? Or are you focused on just making that last point, persuading them to do it your way? Think about this the next time you talk to somebody as to what your goal is. Thank you.